welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie and here we have drinks together and talk about books in my book talk section. And for today's drink, I have sparkling water with some strawberry syrup because there is blood involved in the book that we will be discussing today, which is called The Gracier by Kim Liggett. So sit back, have a drink with me, and let's get right into the book. So I will be reading the book description from Kindle since that's how I read this book. In Gardner County, girls are told that they have the power to lure men from their beds to drive women mad with jealousy. They believe their very skin emits a powerful aphrodisiac, the potent essence of youth, of a girl on the edge of womanhood. That's why they're banished for their 16th year to release their magic into the wild so they can return purified and ready for marriage. But not all of them will make it home alive. 16-year-old Tierney James dreams of a better life. A society that doesn't pit friend against friend or woman against woman, but as her own Gracier draws near, she quickly realizes that it's not just the brutal elements they must fear. It's not even the poachers in the woods, men who are waiting for a chance to grab one of the girls in order to make a fortune on the black market. Their greatest threat may very well be each other. This basically is about putting a whole group of 16-year-old girls together who believe that they have magical powers as soon as they get their first period. Drop them in a forest and see who survives. It's pretty interesting in how the book explores womanhood in its beginning stages and how quickly women were quick to turn against each other because of what they were put into their minds since they were born, pretty much. And it was just a very interesting trip to go on reading this book. According to Kindle, the typical read time is 6 hours and 27 minutes. This also took me about a week to complete. I was actually very invested in this book because I wanted to see how this all played out, especially since the majority of the cast in this book are 16-year-old girls. Like, this is just a whole bunch of girls going through what they go through in a forest while still exploring who they are and what's to come for them in the future when they make it back, if they make it back. Oh, and also this is 409 pages, so it's kind of a big book, but not really. So this is the book cover. I will have the colorized version somewhere near here, and it says the title, it's a New York Times bestseller, and it also says underneath the title, Survive Together or Die Alone. And this should be the red ribbon, which is supposed to symbolize when you're on your Gracier, and I'm gonna assume this is the main character. So now my thoughts on this book. This book was so cool. I actually really enjoyed this book. Also, if you're someone who really enjoys spice, if you know what I mean, this is not a book that has that much spice. I would actually rate this like 0 out of 5 hot peppers, to be honest, because there's not much of it, and that little piece where there is, it doesn't really like escalate any further than it did. So it's very much PG-13. If I had to rate this, it would definitely be that, because of course there's still some sort of talk on like sexual stuff, but it's not that intense, because again, we're more focused on like surviving this Gracier alive, just making it out alive and hoping we all don't kill each other at the end. So I really enjoyed reading this book. There are some things that I wish we had more detail on, like the ending. I heard that there's no sequel to this book when I was researching what happens next kind of thing. There's no hint that there's going to be a sequel, which disappoints me because of how it ended. And I want to see how this whole thing plays out. So it kind of upset me that there is no second part to this. And some people were complaining that it was like 2 different types of endings. I like to believe that it was one ending versus the other. I don't want to spoil this for you guys because I feel like it's very important. So I'll leave it up to y'all to find out what that ending is, and then, you choose which was the better ending, one or the other. But overall, this was an amazing book. I had a lot of fun reading this. I was able to imagine everything happening and unraveling as it did. And yeah, it was pretty cool. And there was like some action. There was a bit of romance. It was pretty. There was like a way to keep the reader reading. You know, I didn't stop and then go back to the book or anything like that. I actually kept reading every moment that I got because I really did want to see how this all worked out. So I really enjoyed this book. I rated this, I believe, maybe 4 out of 5 stars. Maybe 3.7 would be better just because of the ending and the fact that I have some unanswered questions. The author kind of gives us a glimpse of what happens after everything unravels, but I still want to see how we got there. You know, it would be pretty cool. This book touches upon things like women's intuition, women's periods, and a whole bunch of other stuff that can be really well related to women. So I believe that this also caters to the women's audience. And I still think everybody can read this book because there is a little bit of everything in it, but mostly gravitated towards females. So now for some highlights that really stood out for me throughout the course of this book. In the county, there's nothing more dangerous than a woman who speaks her mind. This, I feel like, is a very short but powerful quote because throughout the years in society, we were led to believe that men were more superior than women, and we've had male presidents, we've had men even acting female roles in the entertainment industry. We've had so many things where men were, you know, pretty much in control of everything, and the only thing women would do would be to take care of the kids and cook and clean and all of that, you know. And there was also no room for women to think that there could be more for them in terms of jobs until like women's rights happened and all of that. So, and also a lot of the time when it comes down to women speaking up for themselves or saying what's on their heads, or if something's going on and they finally decide to talk about it, a lot of the times they would be seen as, you know, crazy, or oh, you're just, you know, feeling too much, or like, you know, just let it go, like just let it slide, like it's not that big of a deal. But you know, it's just like, it's very powerful how women would stand up for themselves and how they would talk about things. And a lot of the times people start getting intimidated by it. So I just think that this was a very interesting quote in relation to how women were seen for so many years. Another quote that stuck out to me that I highlighted was, "But maybe we had to destroy everything in order for something to be born anew. From death there is life." And I actually firmly very much believe this. For every death that there is in your life, people are born every day, people die every day. And the whole thing about, you know, you had to destroy everything had to be destroyed in order for something new to happen. I'm also in the belief where when your life is just going down, like it's just like so much is happening to you and it's not in the best way, that it's because something better at some point is gonna come out, that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And you may be going through a whole shift of darkness, whatever the case is, but at some point there was so much good to be had after. The light will always show. There's always a little bit of light in every piece of darkness. So that's why I believe that that quote really stuck out to me, and I ended up highlighting it. And one more quote to sum up my highlight section of the book. "It's easy to think of your life as being meaningless out here. A tiny forgotten imprint that can be easily washed away by the next passing storm. But instead of making me feel small, it gives everything more purpose, more meaning. I'm no more or less important than a small seedling trying to burst through the soil. We all play a part on this earth, and however small, I intend to play mine." And this stuck out to me because at the end of the day, we are living this life together. We all come from love, we all return to love, and we're all here for the same reason, for the most part, is to live. And I we also survive on an ecosystem. So really, like, everything has its purpose. Everything is as equally important. Like, we can't survive without bees, apparently. We need the grass so that animals could eat the grass, and then we eat the animal. You know, it's a whole thing. And I think that that was really interesting. Like, you know, even if we're not meant to be here for a long time, we will play the part that we are meant to play on this planet. We were put here for a reason. Everything has meaning, and you know, we just gotta go through the motion. And the whole "I intend to play my part," that I feel like was just such a strong way to end the quote, because you know, I'm gonna do what I set out to do no matter what. No matter how big or small it is, I intend to go all the way with it and see it to the end. So in conclusion, I do rate this 3.7 to 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed reading this book. There was enough imagination to go by. There was a little bit of romance along with a lot more action, and just imagining what these girls are going through was really intense. And it was also very gory, so if you're not into gore, I also wouldn't recommend reading this book if that's not your thing. If violence is not your thing, probably opt out on this book. It does have a little bit of religion involved in it as well, and it comes closely related to the witch trials. So if any of these are your thing, definitely pick up this book. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this book review. This is actually kind of short because it was a fiction book and it's relatively a short book, and there is no sequel to it, which is so disappointing because I actually want to see how this all plays out in the future, especially because of how it ended. And I feel like everybody who reads this book can agree that the ending is a little confusing because we don't actually know what happens to the main character, and we kind of get a glimpse of what happens in the future, but it would just be amazing to be able to see how it all plays out. So other than that, this book was very enjoyable. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day, a great evening, and a fantastic week, and I will catch you guys later.